side long belong me. Na emi pasi my long me long looking light. That's all one pela time me been bunging Jesus. Na emi
Happy noon, Pastor Peter. You principal on this seminary, Mr. Blungen, Lutheran Highlands Seminary, Ogelbeng. Na, thank you long time lo you, enough me asking you long. One bless Mama ikarim you.
Thank you Troy, Yomi. Me masla desla. Sopla time is black and down one time no working this plus story. Plus Mama Karimi, long Kerowagi, Missionary District, na Lilik place Gena, na Mama Karamilo place Nogar lo Gena. Inside lo Kerowagi.
Na this la place you Mama Karim you na you come up longen emi got sampla hiding is up yet that lo time you come up or
Lo this la time all missionary bin come na kirabin place lo kundiawa William Bergman na ole come sampla all evangelists ole come one time training all house place line lo mi plateau na ole commander lo place tumbunam lo mi ami number one man lo aram good news na mi tanim bell so lo this la time me come up second number 2 generation behind so all Christian is not finished na me come up. Yes, tumbunam lo mi was Paramount Chief. Before lo Gigmai gam na establish lo kundiawan na Kerowagi. Emi staff was leader lo one bla this la big bla tribe we call him Gena. Na time emi come up Christian. Emi tambu tu long all man Nogar Maritime 2 bla 3 bla Mary. So everyone bla good bla influence emi been come up him. Lo time come up Christian because chief only Adam talk no only behind him. So all man who society been come up leader behind long him only staff good he come. That's all this la person now know is staff lo community. Science league.
Sense. And now. Na Papa Blong you too he come up a leader or chief?
Yes, staff chief la place na look at the place he go na me staff 8 la Christmas. Na die.
Sorry.
Die, so me no got long blood time one time, but me got long blood time one time. Mama blew me. Yes.
Now you got some memory blow Papa blow you yet start.
Yeah, me memory me got one time. Papa I was man blow lotu. Na I'm using position blowing no some leader na all the time me thinking me league. Time he got walk na, he got fight na, he got heavy. All the time by I'm calling him lo big pla. Na all the time by one plus something me no look him no sa touch him fight him mama blow me. Na this la something too me line him. No legally get so him got this la influence lo life blow me too me look him. And big pla through. So lo side lo believe me thing him baba me make him big pla impact lo society blow me pla.
You go to school long place?
Yes, me go to school lo place. All evangelistic commander boli kira kind of early childhood now before you call him prep. So we been making prep lo have na 71. Na we been go one primary school. Got primary school got some grade 1 go 6. We got grade 1 go 3. So below grade 4 go 6. Remember walk about 4 hours every day for 4 years. Misa walk about lo place lo me come lo mingendi. Primary school lo Catholic.
4 hours.
4 hours walk about.
One way or
one way na two way and you go back and 4 hours so 8 hours every day plus I walk about.
Sorry.
So beyond all walk normal classroom and that but lo this la time classroom lo grade 4, 5, 6 tablo mingendi na 1 to 3 am tablo all place. So I've been struggling this.
So you got two pla save you kissing one pla emplo Lutheran na one pla emplo all Catholic.
Yes. You go inside the Catholic school so all the time we go most all catechist we go pass na leading me lo prayer na all this la something so me clear good time me lik mangi lo person lo tu lo Catholic yes.
I think in one good experience one you look him got one side tasol and got narula line too.
True. That's why help me lo lik get me sa was Lutheran tasol staff. I got Catholic staff na bian time people na me look more plan Arab la church come now. Me sa tingin this pla. Me go lo Kerowagi high school. Na me working grade 8 la hub. Na because Papa died na me stop one time. Papa blomi ose misa calling Papa Umba before former principal lo here lo Ogelbeng. Kisimi lo time 9 years old. Na M2 emba lo pem school people me because me play got Lara plus 7 plus picking 2. So big plus sister blomi man blongen high school teacher. So kisimi ko lo Yalibu.
Teach lo Yalibu.
Yalibu na me ko lo Yalibu now. Me go long confirmation class lo Wena Strauss na Pastor 1 year na mixing confirmation blessing lo me lo Yalibu.
Hey.
Lo 1982. Yes.
Okay. Now behind lo high school, you been got ting long ikama pastor or church workman before yet or lo time lo school?
Me finish grade 8 na me go back lo Papa lo Kewamuk. Time start lo Kewamuk. Na me like school now. Only talk school PM 70 kina. So midla mama blow me now I must marry blow Papa principal.
Yeah.
Me kisimi na midla go lo paining money blow school fee. Na midla go lo road. Lo one blood time na me looking him na me sorry lem na me togo sem. Arem. Na me babianin Papa na me bakawa pastor. Hino sawe. That's what me talking me most. Na I'm crying. I'm kissing me. Na me tla go peg lo Kewamuk. Na Lord's lab now. Me no thinking long go lo school continue education. Me stop that's all. Na behind them sister blomi stop lo Yalibu. What the man blend only go lo Moresby so kissing me go lab na Lord's lab now. Me involved lo ministry na. Now me come osem. Lo Moresby me school na me school lo tech. Na me like come up lo walk long ship. So me some the school lo take lo idu bada lo Moresby. Me go working upgrading marks lo me lo grade 10, me go lo grade 12. Na me like go school na like lo me lo come up captain lo ship.
Oh.
Yes, na me been school go lo Maritime. Maritime College. Na me been go 2 years lo medeng na me work lig lo ship. That's all me involved lo youth ministry lo Port Moresby congregation lo me lo Moresby and Towamo. Na me start labi go na me sa making work lo youth na Sunday school na Doulos become na lo Moresby na me talking pastor lo me I think me like work mission ya na em to go right na salimi lo ship na me start 6 player lo ship Doulos. MV Doulos yes.
And one kind ship.
One la sip lo osem kain lo tu lo yumi Christian lo tu. Oli sawe kisimo liam plab lo all kita have ground. Na lo time lo me blaga 35 la nationality me bla staff lo sip na 500 man Mary. So been one bla good experience. Na lo nesla tu me bungim brother lo Andres Spinkler. I know Spinkler and staff lo sip na me bla been staff one time.
Now I'm stop me must claim thing ligli. I'm stop lo here long seminary now Andreas Spingler. I'm one blood teacher, one blood lecturer. Stop na you bung him brother blongen lo sheep.
Yes.
Na you bung him one kind line you know been save longen before.
I mean bung him minus stop one time all white before. Minus sleep kira one time all one blood dormitory. Na minus tok na round one time all. It's like experience blood Doulos. Got big blind impact lo life blow me. Na rousing this la Fred thinking giving me this la hamamas lo looking harap la also brata susa. Na two helping me lo look sawe lo harap la believe harap la Christian brata susa. Was me pla Lutheran that's only believe lo God. ika to larapla prata susai sta polis tu I believe lo God na this like ministry helping me big pla through na shaping thinking lo mi lo look lo God lo big pla scale yes
true na you bla round lo 1.5 long ship lo 1.5 ground world
mi bla mi round planti lo East Asia Pacific Australia ko New Zealand na round planti lo Middle East na last time mi go longan mi go come lo Brazil na yes mi come back lo 1996 yes
na me having also one plus story you've been pulling na you talk you've been walk one time Mother Teresa too notice la time
time finish lo ship all boss blow me lo ship asking me you like go mega tupla field one lo ship na one lo ground so all asking me you like go when me talk me like go walk one time Mother Teresa so only giving me 1 year na me go walk one time Mother Teresa lo Calcutta me been based lo Hyderabad lo Madras na staff lig lo have work lig one time Lutheran Church lo have St. Thomas Lutheran Church na behind me come staff lo Calcutta one time Mother Teresa go 8 months finish now me come back na this like one bla nice like an experience lo life to me
true it must not a kind of
deal one them life lo all man na Marina all beginning na just like kind something panim lo Papua New Guinea na me grow up lo one bla environment when different all geta na look lo me lo Christianity too when me different but time me go inside lo this la hub me kisem me looking God lo narabla angle too how go them sawe sorel all man how go them ista papa lo kain man merigat kain sig na kain view lo this la ground na how you make so him this bla like him long God long this la kain place too he got big impact lo life lo me
na you walk one time all this la was in man Mary sleep lo road na kai road or kai or Nogar kai or one something
yes Mother Teresa got one place where sa lo kwatimol sick man na man angre sleep lo road na man close to like it die na so mi place around the street now lo Calcutta mi place pine mall this la man na mi place kisimikam now put him 1.5 all by stop long na mi place kukim kai na mi place wasemol na tresemol na one blood neso top help mi plan na mi place assistimol na mi place making this like na then some blood by kisimo right na go some blood sa die na time all die also die la hand blow mi plan na this la all kind something heart plus something
true
no life blow me
na you walk long around you talk behind lo Mother Teresa you've been around yet lo this la hub East Asia or
me finish lo India na me lo Pretoria lo South Africa na walk ligli go double Angola 6 months one time OM team this la same team me bla walk lo India sambla bla start lo Africa too me finish lo up na me kamol keta
I am now na you've been story long you've been go on top lo Himalaya too or lo this la
yes I want to good experience too thing so one la bag me carry me gam na stable here this la bag one bla marine bag blo US na this la time mi bla go tasol mi lugum 6 bla boys mi bla go na 2 bla girls na mi bla some bla Asia 2 bla England 1 bla Australia na 2 bla America mi bla go tasol
na you one bla PNG
mi one bla PNG tasol na isa well Karen Beck na go mountain ya mi ligligate na mi wogem go na mi sa like him longen ya so time mi bla go Himalaya mountains lo give him track distribute him all tracks lo plus la gospel tracks lo all community me excited lo making this lesson me losing all tumbler na me go finish
na also twin
then me thinking was me like come one time so me go sit down na me wait
true yeah
but it was a good experience and me looking was all man too I'm talk lo God na only staff na not at pastor staff because I'm all Hindu
yes
so one black kind experience. But all into good line blow. Adam talk blow got area. You know, some Muslim, but you are talk lol.
You've been work one time all Muslim too.
Yeah, me work one time Muslim.
One half, yeah.
I'm not one Sudan. Southern Sudan, and we got all Muslim stuff, so plus I work one time.
I'm hardly
league. Now, all by finding way all by like asking you, finding out you Christian or like making more sense. Some of the time, only can bagrab you me. So, this last of me, planners have talk good. Now, so I'm also me Christian, na this la. But one time, Hindu, me looking at easy. Lo walk one time more, help him all, so Jesus.
Now, some come up Christian too.
Yes. Lo hap lo Angola mi lugim sambla tubla Muslim only been come Christian. I'm all students. Na only got every lo body. Man Pablo die finish nor kism gates na die so this la time this la sigi bin big plan lo hap na. Man papa die so all pigini only start number lo community na mi like small come na. OM got on the little clinic start na mi pla help mo lo sa go kam mi pla give clothes. Make him say me go now look him na talk was him. Why you pla come na so him this pla person lo mi pla no line blue you pla mi pla no one kind of same you pla na mi pla talk was him mi pla come all same lo you pla because one pla good pla man is start na this la good pla man through ya die lo you me na like you must look sound and this pla like him. O sen na mi pla come one time this pla bel na mi pla so him this pla like him ya ino blo mi pla emblo this la man mi pla find him lo em so mi pla like share him this la one that you pla now also okay mi pla interest lo sabelo this la now mi pla help mo liko na tubla one time him been come up Christian na no got Lutheran Church la so mi pla put him all one la Baptist Church
good pla na behind lo display experience one time OM lo ship na long ground you go back lo place
lo hap me come back lo Moresby lo Towamo congregation lo salimi longen na mi work lik 2 years lo hap na mi kam kirabun this lo work blong salimol missionary ko overseas na mi base lo lay na mi start 13 years lo lay na mi recruit mo Papua New Guinea lo go so mi one lo first pla missionary lo Papua New Guinea ko lo overseas na meri bianke pe mi recruit na training mo lo come missionary osem na now I'm come na teach lo ya staff
tas all me can talk look sabe lo narula video is up inside lo YouTube ya lo Miss Bianca pe missionary black skin missionary lo overseas na good pala you black can look in one kind organization you work one time
you must call him OM Operation Mobilization na this line one pla interdenominational organization and staff lo bungi mol kita believe man meri lo Christian Church lo nisla ground puti moli ko lo one pla hap oli can staff was some team no oli can out in top long god long round lo sit na out team lo plant up or lo place ground na oli can staff was some team na round one time all church na out in top lo god walk all some make him so me play been join lo this la
now you play training all lo lay
yes time me training all lo lay na me play sa kisimol go back lo church blongol congregation or one ministry will come longen na plus a working awareness na mi plus a raising funds blongol lo balus ticket na kainosem na time already one feel like longen mi plus a straighten ticket blol na also go save so past time mi one plate asol mi ko behind mi plus salim 5 play go long behind mi plus salim 11 plug go now mi plug got Papua New Guinea, lo Lutheran Church ta solo larla denomination too. Always a work one and this organization so planting plong all salim missionary overseas finish. Na kaino sem biankepe come back na staff, na rapla come back na staff. So samla now we work it.
Ta sol you bla work in Mission Society long lay.
Yes.
We can talk with him. You sabi lo Hamas Manmeri is that now lo overseas or you bla salim finish or
mibla lo time lo mibla salim na mibla start lo 5 na mibla start salim go in ablo 37 37 plug go now come back finish na now in this organization mi lusim na come only start it na so only base lo Moresby Na only recruit him, na only work lo Salem go come to, so now we have to all staff lo overseas to, so me no clear lo hours per number, all staff, yes. 1996 me move lo congregation lo me salimi lo come lo lay because me feeling display one bla sing out the style of bell lo me na me bla find him some bla ground lo up so to you can come lo up na kirab in this la place so this la organization all rent him out this la place 2000 na me lusim lo up na 2000 me come up lo CLTC.
Oh, CLTC M1M something.
CLTC Christian Leaders Training College. Na only asking me lo teaching missions lo have. Only got one la program. So me am teaching missiology lo have staff. Na I'm behind on this la. Me working studies lo me too lo theology, bachelor lo theology. So me staff lab 6 years na same time me working study lo me too. So me finish now 2013 me come lo Ogelbeng.
Now. Na this la CLTC stop lo one map.
CLTC stop close to lo church college lo bands. Yes.
Time you start now you working bachelor of theology.
Yes.
You one subject or one special area you got interest in.
Me been working lo theology straight lo Old Testament. Me finish one time this plan now all asking me lo start back tasol Papa Blomi, Papa Principal Umba. Seminary, I got every na all close in seminary. Na retire finish na go place tasol. Only talk was church to must come back na Kiraban place. So come here, looking was needing me lo here. So all me come na now me start Ogelbeng display.
Tasol. Na almost amamas true long one plaman I got savelong missiology, I got savelong Old Testament book in bachelor. Ose manim na all kisim you straight na you come up teacher lo here.
Nogar is our stiable church lo you stop. Also na time me come all is calling me computer teacher. Because me got savelo computer so me come lo here only introduce computer class staff. So me no come was one la workman lo seminary. Me come to help him Papa Blomi. So I'm kissing me to help him. Me come to 2013 me start 14 me start 15, 16, 17 and me 5 years me start volunteer underneath lo Papa Blomi. Na me sa help him lo all kita ose me come up was a personal assistant.
Okay.
Lo was caretaker principal.
Oh yeah.
So me help him lo paperwork, working administration. Now behind me stop now all teacher looking was me got bachelor lo theology na missionary too now this like experience stuff so all asking me you can help me lo teach now working this class so me make him go now behind lo 5 years church he talk right na kissing me lo come a full time teacher.
Lutheran Church he got more thinking lo you must kiss him more sabe or one.
Yes. Time he stop lo happen was all na call me pastor yet lo here. Na inside Lutheran community, all na look sa lo mi also pastor so church looking this plan na only talking me lo golo lay na kisim doctrine course lo doctrine so studies lo up na mi go MLS me school lo 1 year kisim doctrine in up to 3 years ta so me make him good so all graduating me area up na all to you go kisim ordination na kama pastor so me kama kisim ordination na me kama pastor lo 2019 na biano nisla time we finish lo MLS na kamanda one blow offer been come lo scholarship na all get the teacher lo MLS only got this la master so all asking me you na working this lo na mi talk yeah me ba mas lo working this la
masters
yes kurim sawe lo masters so this la course now we make him lo online lo Grand Canyon University one blow study lo have lo Lutheran emphasis lo doctrine lo Lutheran 26 lo deslamun mi ba finishing course lo mi na mi by one time will ask me lo graduate by me graduate but course by me finish lo next week.
You principal na you pastor na this pala online course here you come up lo one time
online course lo mi misa bung one time lecturer lo mi lo 10 o'clock night long all get a Tuesday professor Blumi midla sabung one time all kita Tuesday. Na one time all kita student, Arab student midla sabung lo 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock morning lo time long all meet us all mi school midla 14 plus school all smart in Indonesia, Taiwan, Thailand, Japan, Korea, South Korea, all Philippines too. Taiwan and people no right, so people finding on Blanamel time also. So me sacrifice me at me talk 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So
now morning again you can work also in principle, huh?
Yes.
One time you must get up at 6 or 7 o'clock. Now you sleep. One time you sleep here.
Me sometimes I sleep 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock or 7. Me I get up 6 o'clock morning. Ready me go office, we must read administrative something, behind class, plan the work that's all. Me look if God help me close to my finishing. Me just look forward to this day by me finish.
I think I'll say me na everyone la big plus sacrifice. Me looking me walk inside of the seminary. Now me looking you sabe finish na. You make him that's all. Pastor Peter. Now you one fees or what's
me like talk thank you lo very beginning because it's all this little busy life only understanding me na sana backside na support me Mary Blumi beginning lo one bla Foscoya pastor na clear good lo work pastor because all bring me up lo this like an environment so me got understanding staff lo me can support me na me like and work one time me like at all beginning tubla bipla all you go out finish tubla legal staff na this little beginning one time mama blow all strong in me all work na look at me good na helping me good lo me can make him work lo one day. Yeah.
Pastor Peter Gigmai, me amama through lo this la talk na story you making lo life lo you na work lo you. Me talk thank you straight long you sit down one time me lo here. Now you got experience one time kind line long church na about here. Kerowagi start na behind him lo sheep kind arbla line na. This play me good play through lo anem you yet you sabe you me Lutheran tasoli start na. We got kind arbla Christian start na. Me sabe long you book otsem one pla mani book in bridge na me long arbla confession na arbla line lo Christian start long na. Me talk thank you now. Long this play good play talk. You may be got one time. Thank you, Pastor Peter.
Thank you. We almost lo you kissing this last story na. Usati by Haram this last story. We pray God can bless you too. Thank you.
See me been stuck inside long.